To America, to America, to America, to America. What's that from?
My Nightmares.
Juice. Hey, welcome back to our Stupid Reactions of Korbins.
I'm Rick.
You can follow us on Instagram, Twitter, juicy content. Thank you to everybody who supports on Patreon. Follow us for your Twitter account, subscribe and like button.
But do not insert the juicy content into your breasts, because just like silicone, in about a decade, it could start to leak out of your body.
Yep. Today we have a quick. This is actually 16-year-old Sachin Tendulkar.
Ooh.
Batting first with KAPIL.
Whoa!
Yeah. So apparently a rare video. Oh, not a rare. Obviously, it's on the internet. I don't know. It's just the title thing. But apparently, he started playing at 16. So do you have to? Because in Major League Baseball and other sports, there are certain requirements before you can enter the league.
Right.
NFL, you need to go through at least 3 years of college before you are eligible. NBA is not that way. You can go straight to college.
You can, but you can go straight from high school into pros.
Into pros.
Kobe did that.
MLB, I think it's the same thing.
MLB is that way, but the majority of players
play in college.
They play college and then they play minor league ball because they need to be developed in minor league ball before they go to the big show.
This could be like soccer because there's a bunch of. I mean, Manchester United has soccer's so well set up because there's so many different leagues and that's why they have whatever the word is called when you don't play well enough, you are.
Is it demoted?
It's a demotion.
It's a demotion, but there's a different term
the
for
word
it.
Is
sent down. That's what they say in Major League Baseball. You've been sent down to the minors.
It starts with an R. I don't know why I can't remember right now. But anyways, and then a person that won one below you gets to come up and relegated. Relegated is the word.
Okay.
So I'm wondering if it's like, but you could play in Major League Soccer. At 16, there was Freddie Adu for a long time was really famous for being a prodigy, and then he didn't end up being anything. But he started playing really early.
Yeah.
So I'm wondering if it's like that with cricket.
There are players in baseball who can go from high school to the minors and then get sent up pretty quick.
Yeah.
But that typically doesn't.
But obviously,
doesn't happen.
Sachin being one of the GOATs of all time, if not the GOAT.
Yeah.
This is a video.
16-year-old Sachin batting with KAPIL Dev.
I don't think it's against KAPIL. That'd be the same. I'm pretty sure they'd be on the same team.
I think it's just exhibition batting, maybe.
No, maybe. Here we go.
The India's batting lineup today, 16-year-old Sachin Tendulkar.
Oh wow!
Again against Australia.
See how young he is. We've seen him play.
We have.
Babyface.
Babyface.
And he does have a run finally. Tendulkar.
Okay, so this is a.
He'll feel better for that.
I don't know if it's an exhibition game.
Well, that's a good ball. Swinging Yorker and they're both at one end. It's got to be right. The youngster said nothing. Ezra said, let's go. And the captain keeps going.
Looks so young. Wow.
India, Azarine hits a very full-length delivery packages Yorkerling to mid-on, takes off with a single. Young Tendulkar just sat on his back there, and now Azarine leaves the park and leaves Tendulkar to bat on. At the bowler's ends, as KAPIL Dev comes out, that's a major blow for New Zealand.
There he is.
Ranveer right there.
Who could run it up, but that's over. Gets a single this time, gets his first run.
That guy looked like he was barely running.
Hey, is that a 4? Sure is.
That's the way to play it. Straight back, straight down the ground. Right up to him and he hit it straight back.
There's another 4.
Ooh!
Wow.
It's a 4.
This kid's got game.
I think he's going to be somebody one day.
This kid's got game.
These white guys have no idea what to do.
What a beautiful swing.
Great person to get
Wow.
some advice from.
No
sure.
kidding. It always seems to be that way. It always seems to be the greats had encounters with the greats that helped shape them. Wow.
16-year-old just owning all these adults.
And he knew where to place that. He knew if he swung too hard and wasn't a 6, he'd fly out. So he half swings. Look at that bonk to tap it over and in between the defenders. At 16.
He has an iconic look. Like he's
Oh yeah.
so distinctive. KAPIL Dev's pretty good too. I think he'll be a good player one day. What does that sound? Like horses?
2 balls to go, and really the last one has bowled very well. KAPIL Dev just seeing there that
The coach is like, do something different.
What a shot. That was a great shot.
was hit over the head of Martin Crowe, who's really deep in the line.
Coach is like, have you tried throwing something he can't hit?
Really, Tendulkar is just blazing on his emotions.
Throw an end-lining swing ball.
But he's just going for it, calming him down, keeping him cool.
Tendulkar's 36, facing Thompson. Charges again.
Oh,
Hey.
there he's out.
Big edge. Ian Smith takes the catch. Graham Powell didn't even bother to put his feet.
That's okay, Sachin.
He's got the edge. Straight through the Smith. And Tendulkar carried on. The inexperience of Tendulkar costing India another wicket.
Well, he should have realised that there's still 9 overs and a couple of balls to go. And
16.
That's amazing.
16. And just, you're already, I mean, I don't know what he was thought of. Was he thought of as, like, at that time, a prodigy? Obviously, I'm assuming if he's playing at 16, people,
I would imagine
people
so.
would have thought
I would
of him as a
imagine.
prodigy.
Yeah, I would imagine that they. I would imagine they. That's why he was there. They knew he was that good. And there's a comparable. Do you remember Mike Piazza? Okay, so for those of you who wouldn't know, Mike Piazza was the nephew of Tommy Lasorda, who's a legendary manager of the Los Angeles Dodgers. And Mike Piazza came up to the Dodgers as a 38th round. I think it was 38th round draft pick, which means no one in the league was paying attention to him. But he went on to be one of the greatest catchers in Dodger history, and the same thing when he went and played with the Mets. They retired his number at the Mets, and he's in the Hall of Fame. This 38th round guy. But there's a great video of him at 16 hitting in the cages at home, and Tommy's brought Ted Williams over. And Ted's watching him hit. Now, Ted Williams is considered by many people to be the most beautiful batter in baseball ever, as far as his swing being the most picturesque. He's considered arguably the greatest hitter in baseball history, Ted Williams. So he's watching Piazza at 16, and he's looking at Tommy, and he's saying, and I'm saying the way Ted said it, he's saying, this fucking kick can hit. He's 16? I wasn't hitting that well at 16. What's going on with just total flabbergasted. Now, how does a 16-year-old nephew of Tommy Lasorda with Ted Williams saying this kid hits better than I did at 16, 38th round draft pick, and Ted Williams was proved right. He's in the Hall of Fame now.
Yeah. Does cricket have a draft style system at all, or is it just homegrown from your country kind of thing?
Yeah, I again don't know the structure of that as far as drafting, development.
Arguably, I mean, the winningest quarterback of all time was a 6th-round draft pick, which is, people call him the GOAT, Tom Brady. Although I don't think he's the most talented quarterback of all time. He's never had the most yards, the most touchdowns, the most anything ever, but he constantly wins, so you can't argue against it.
No, you can't. But he also, part of that is his team and Belichick.
Yeah, but also you can't argue
no
with,
taking away the greatness.
Seven
no taking
Super
away his
Bowls.
greatness.
There's nobody that comes close. But in terms of like how talented he is, Patrick Mahomes is far
Is a
more
freak.
talented as a quarterback, even Aaron Rodgers. But you can't say he's the GOAT because Aaron only has one Super Bowl and Tom has 7.
If Mahomes has a healthy career,
He could be
he could become the greatest quarterback of all time.
and he needs to have 7 Super Bowls, but he already has 2. And been to
Brady for me is the one of the greatest executioners of
He just knows
down
what
and
to do.
outs and knows what's going on.
He knows what to do, man.
But I remember, and I hated him, but how could you? He's incredible. Instinct, knowledge of the game, ability to adapt, see things that nobody else is seeing. Joe Montana was an unbelievable freak of
Joe
nature.
Montana is a more talented quarterback, but not winning. You can't argue with 7 Super Bowls.
No.
Unfortunately.
Same thing with Dan Marino. Dan Marino, he didn't win, but he's one of the greatest quarterbacks of all time.
Yeah, probably.
Got a freaking cannon for an arm.
So I'm sure. Yeah.
This was a cool video to watch.
It was. It was cool to see him young. I always love the argument of would Babe Ruth even make an MLB baseball team now?
Not in a million years. Babe Ruth would never make it into a major league team now in a million.
Obviously, he was great for his time, but obviously
Exactly.
he was also only playing with white people.
Yeah, you measure it. You measure it according to the times. So he was a weirdo for the times.
But even then, it's still an asterisk because he was only playing with white people. Black people weren't allowed in the league.
True.
Yet.
There are players who were his contemporaries or came up just after him who Mickey Mantle could play today.
Yeah.
Joe DiMaggio could play today.
Babe Ruth.
Babe Ruth would not be playing today.
Fat ass.
He could be pitching. He could be pitching because he was a great pitcher.
You think so?
Yeah, he was a great pitcher.
I don't know if he could pitch.
And a
I
lot
don't know
of
if anybody back then could
Oh,
pitch
that's
today.
I-
It's a different.
the hitting
They
aspect.
were throwing at 80 something. They're throwing at 100.
Yeah, you know what else is cool? Sorry, we're into the baseball thing. You realize the pitch clock changed. I don't remember when it changed, but the pitch clock started measuring the speed of the baseball in a different way. It started to read today. The pitch clock measures the speed as it crosses the plate. But back when they first started measuring it, they were measuring it upon release from the hand. So there's a declination in speed.
Yeah.
So they believe, Nolan Ryan, and I saw him pitch live, that Nolan was upwards of 108 on a pretty consistent basis. And I remember watching Nolan, because back then, the Angels didn't have a bullpen. You would warm up along the side. So if you were on the field level, you could literally be right beside him and watch him throw. And my dad and I marveling that anyone could hit him because when he threw, you couldn't see the ball. It would leave his hand and you'd hear it hit the glove, but you couldn't pick it up after it left his hand.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Arguably the greatest pitcher
Crazy.
of all time.
Anyway.
Anyways, great video. If there's other videos of him younger or stuff like that, please let us know what those are down below.
Juice!